Today on Moviewallas, it's the Muggies. It's our annual countdown of our favourite movies of the year before. It's time for Moviewallas. Hi, this is Joe.
Hi, it's Rashmi.
And Yazdi as well.
Moviewallas is your weekly dose of film reviews, movie news, and general banter in theatres, on DVD, online streaming, or in the back of an airplane. If you love the movies, this show is for you. Rashmi, you mimed that almost perfectly.
I did.
That was really good. I'm going to put that on our YouTube so that people can see. As a reminder, before we get into things, Moviewallas is on YouTube. Check us out there, youtube.com/Moviewallas, or you can just go to YouTube and type in Moviewallas and up we will pop. Not getting a whole lot of views there, so would like your support as we try and build our YouTube franchise.
But we'd rather you listen.
Yeah.
At least listen.
I'm happy that you're just here with us at all. I'm not being ungrateful for.
Okay, well, I'm just checking.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Yes, listeners, we love you. Watchers, we love you even more. 2-tier. No. Okie doke. So we're going to do what we've kind of had as a tradition. I think we've moved away from kind of doing Muggy Awards and trying to fight and duke it out over best movies, because I don't think that works as well.
Yeah.
Three of us have somewhat different tastes. We align on some things, but then we fight over others, and that's the whole point of this podcast. However, we'll do our countdown, and in order for this not to be a 17-hour show where Yazdi goes through his 36 movies of the year. And look, it's been a good year, so I've got a pretty long list here too. We're going to edit ourselves here. We're going to give you a quick rundown of our 10 through 5 or 10 through 6, and then we'll talk a bit more about our 5 through 1, and we'll see where we land. We haven't shared our lists yet, but I think we probably have a good idea of what's on them. So why don't we get into business?
Okay, so we're going to go 10, Rashmi 10, Yazdi 10, Joe 9, Rashmi 9, Yazdi 9, Joe, all the way up to 5, and then we'll chat.
Yes.
Because some of them may have come up.
And
anyway.
I'm going to put you in charge of running the conversation, Rashmi.
Okay,
Because
all right.
because you do anyway, but B, you will move us along because we are going to see a play tonight.
Yeah, which we should have actually seen in the afternoon, but we couldn't get parking.
Balboa Park.
I don't know what's going on.
Needs to.
We literally drove around for 35 minutes and couldn't park. And then the lady at the theater was so kind that she offered to give us evening tickets instead. So okay,
we're not going to be late a second time.
Exactly. Okay. I'm not having that conversation, Joe. Okay, my number 10. Actually, Joe, why don't you start with 10?
No, because I'm not ready. I'm counting these ones.
All right, my number 10 then is the movie Blink Twice, which was the directorial... No, it wasn't the director. That was
the directorial debut.
Directorial debut from Zoe Kravitz with... my mind is completely...
Channing Tatum.
Thank you, Yazdi, Channing Tatum. And I just love this movie. It did not leave my mind. So mine is Blink Twice. Yazdi.
Great film. I think that movie deserves better. It's been put aside as just a particular kind of film, and it's so much more than that.
Exactly.
My number 10 is a movie that should be number 1 in any other year, but it's the movie Sing Sing, which I absolutely adore. And if you haven't watched it, what are you doing in life? Sing Sing with Coleman Domingo, who's been nominated for Best Actor.
That was my number 15.
Okay.
I don't know why Sing Sing isn't appearing in my list here, because I'm going to have to fix my letterbox here. But that's a great choice. My number 10 is the movie Skincare with
very
Elizabeth
good.
Banks. I love that movie to bits.
That was my number 22, I think.
Skincare? Okay, I still haven't seen it.
Yazdi, you will love it. You will watch it and you'll be like, oh my God, can we talk about that movie? Okay, number 9. My number 9 is the movie which I think is going to be higher up on your both lists. The movie Challengers by Luca Guadagnino, which was the sexiest tennis match you'll ever watch.
It is much, much, much higher on my list.
Yes.
I will
Mine too.
I will withhold it. My number 9 is the movie which has been nominated for not 1, but 2 Best Film Oscars. It's been nominated for Best Animated Film, and it's been nominated for Best International Film, and it's the movie Flow.
Yay!
And again, please, it's in cinemas right now. You can rent it. It's a completely wordless hour and a half of
It's
just bliss. It's
adorable.
adorable animated movie. You can watch it with your kids, with grandpa, grandma. Watch Flow.
It was my... Where has it gone? It's my number 12. Joe.
I'm going to pick a movie that I think, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to say Juror Number Two, which is probably
Yes.
on neither of your lists, is a movie that came late in the year. Clint Eastwood, really good. Had super fun with it.
Yes, it's my number 29.
I didn't put it on my list, but okay, that's fine. Okay, number 8 on my list is the movie Kill, which is also available on Hulu right now. Fantastic movie. Action meets like Bullet Train meets
John Wick.
John Wick,
Yeah.
so good.
Substantially higher on my list, but
Okay.
I will hold
Okay.
off. But yeah, Kill is a movie which I'm waiting for it to show up on. We'll talk more about it, but
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it to show up so people can watch it at home.
Yeah, I thought it's on Hulu, but
Maybe it's on Hulu. Yes.
Okay.
My number 8 is a movie which is easily the longest movie on anybody's list. It's been nominated for Best Film, Best Director, Best Actor, and it's the movie The Brutalist, which, if nothing else, is just such an amazing bit of ambition. I think this is a truly complex piece which is put together. I know a lot of people have issues with it, but I can't wait to watch it again. The Brutalist.
Okay.
It's playing in cinemas.
yeah, Joe.
That's nowhere near my list.
No, mine neither.
Very handsome movie. Good pick, Yazdi. Mine's probably one that is higher on your list, and that's the movie Didi.
Oh, no,
That's my number 6.
my number 19.
Really enjoyed Didi.
Yeah, Didi was great.
Again, people who complain that there are no good movies to watch, seek out Didi, D-I-D-I, and I believe that's now on Amazon Prime. A better movie cannot be watched. I love that film so much.
Yeah. All right, coming in at number 7 then for me is the movie Emilia Pérez, which is also available on Netflix right now. Yazdi, number 7.
No comments about Emilia Pérez.
I know.
I mean, look, it's a movie with a capital M,
Yeah.
but it's problematic. I'll leave it at that. But
Okay.
but watch it. It's fun. It's fun. My number 7 is a movie that was my pick at the last podcast. It's the movie which just dropped on Amazon Prime. It's the movie Girls Will Be Girls. It's an Indian movie about a young teenage girl growing up in a boarding school in India. It's chef's kiss. You have to watch it.
It is. It's my number
lovely.
21.
Yes.
And it has found its way to my number 5.
Wow. Okay.
Very good.
All right. Number 6 then is the movie.
Although,
Go on.
yeah, so where are we now? 6?
Number
or 7?
6.
Okay.
My number 6 is the movie with I'm going blank. Scottish man, James
Kneecap.
McAvoy.
Oh,
Speak No Evil.
Speak No Evil. I
Snap.
love that movie.
Really, I love that movie. I wish it had done better. It's such a like naughty, delicious, evil movie.
And it's a remake of a movie, and usually remakes of
Of a
movies don't do well. Of a
foreign
Danish
language
movie,
movie,
of a
yeah.
Danish movie, and it does a few things differently, and it does them all amazingly. Again, if you're looking for an adult movie, not adult like
Yeah.
naked adult, but like a more adult themed movie where you want to be scared out of your wits, and it
Yeah.
really plays with your expectations, and it has a biting finish. Watch Speak No Evil with
Yes.
James McAvoy. Come
Yes.
on, people. What are
Very
you
good.
doing? If you haven't seen it, watch
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Speak No Evil.
Speak
Good
No
call.
Evil. Thank you. Yazdi, yours, number 6.
My number 6 is the movie Didi, which was your pick
Yes.
early on, and
No, it was his pick number
his
early
pick.
on. It's my number 19.
Yeah, Didi's about an Asian kid growing up in 1990s Oakland, California, and it's a heartfelt, beautiful, aching story about
Stunning.
just growing up in the U.S. and immigration and integrating with cultures. It's lovely.
Yes. Joe, your number 6. Same was Speak No Evil. Okay,
Yep.
great. All right. So now we get to talk about a little bit more about our top 5. So coming in at number 5 for me is the movie, wait for it, The Seed of the Sacred Fig. This is available on Prime or Apple as a rental. It is a movie about... It was made in secret. It's Mohammed Rasulov's thriller. Yeah. It is about a family that's thrust into a public eye. It's got like undertones of responsibility and patriarchy, but also what's the right thing to do. And then when a government is watching you, when you're being monitored, what that does to your family. It's about rules and regulations and growing up and coming of age. It is amazing. It is one of the foreign language Oscar nominations. It's phenomenal.
This is my number 4 movie.
Ah, okay.
I saw this movie in the theater. I didn't get a chance to watch it during the end of year season. It just blew me away. I think people should just watch it without knowing too much about it. Where the movie went, I wasn't expecting it to go. And the movie is, for me, it's about 100 things, but more than anything else, it's about patriarchy not locking heads with progressive new thinking, an older generation versus younger generation, and what can be at stake and what the consequences can be. It tries to understand both sides. It definitely takes a side, but the fact that this movie was made in secret, it's so accomplished. I was at the edge of my seat and I couldn't breathe.
Totally.
This movie, oh my God, it's remarkable. Again, everybody who complains there aren't good movies, watch The Seed of the Sacred Fig.
This is such a thriller. I mean, like, it literally has you on the edge of your seat. So. And
it may sound, Seed of the Sacred Fig sounds pretentious, but
it sounds like a Yorgos Lanthimos title.
But it's anything but pretentious.
But it's anything as that.
I will say it's a little slow to begin with, but stay with it and it'll be well worth your time.
Totally. Yeah. Okay, Joe, number. Oh, sorry. Yes, you're number 5.
So my number 5. Oh, we were at number 5. My number 5 is another Indian movie we saw at a film festival. In my case, I watched it at the San Diego Asian Film Festival. It's the lovely movie All We Imagine as Light.
Yes, that's my number 4.
Oh, we switched 4 and 5. So let's talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Should I?
Yes, please.
All We Imagine as Light is unlike any other Indian movie I've seen. It's not a masala movie. It's a quiet movie. It follows these 3 women at different stations in life. Parts of it are surreal. Parts of it, you don't know if it's happening in reality or not. But it's so... You get to know these people, and it's meditative, and it's quiet, and it's... For me, you can take away whatever you want from the movie. There's something so wistful and aching about the movie.
It's ethereal.
It's ethereal. But
without being pretentious.
Yes.
And because the way we're speaking is like, it's this like, all we imagine is light about these 3 women.
It sounds very Terrence Malicky the way
it's not. It's not at all. It's actually very super grounded in reality. And it's gritty, and it's just about 3 different women's lives. And the one that's very interesting is this Hindu girl who's having a relationship with a Muslim man, and how they have to hide that relationship, but also how that impacts the other women. And then it's kind of like their life in a hospital. They're all nurses. It's about duty. It's about, again, progression versus old rules and regulations, who you have to be. And it's just how it portrays Mumbai. Oh, I felt like I was there. I felt I could smell the place. I could feel the place. I could touch the place. Yeah. It's beautifully directed, and it won Best Palme d'Or at
it won the second prize at the Cannes Film Festival. For me, more than anything else, it's a plea for compassion, and it's a plea to find your own family when the one you have fails you. And to me, that's such a the last 5 minutes of the movie should not work, but they just worked. And I walked out of the cinema, and I was this close to crying. It just something welled up in me. And there's nothing about that ending which should make me well up, but it's a very, very special film. And I should also say, the government of India messed up, and they should have submitted this movie for Best Foreign Film, but they did not. And so it's not even in contention at the Oscars for Best Foreign Film, which is just an outrage.
As we said during our Oscar show, Yazdi.
So All We Imagine as Light. You have to watch it.
So Joe, you're number 5.
was Girls Will Be Girls, and we've
Okay.
already talked about that.
Perfect. Okay, so number 4s, I think we've already talked about mine and Yazdi's. Mine is Always Imagine as Light. Yazdi, yours is The Seed of the Sacred Fig. Joe, what's your number 4?
Which we've already talked about now that I'm refining my list, because I think Letterboxd has really tripped me up here. But I'm going to go with Sing Sing for number 4.
Okay, which was my number 15. Okay, so we're down
So
to...
good.
So good. But I just had a whole bunch more in the middle. Okay, the next one is number 3. So mine is the documentary available on Netflix. It's called Daughters, and it's about, I think I've mentioned this one before as one of our picks. This is a stunning documentary about 4 young girls who prepare for a special daddy-daughter dance with their incarcerated fathers. And again, like I said during one of our earlier shows, this is magical in the way that it portrays these incarcerated men and the hope it gives them, this whole program, and true rehabilitation around what it means to be a father and be able to see your daughter not in your overalls, you know, to be able to have a daddy-daughter dance. This made me cry. This made me laugh. This is a beautiful documentary. It's just left such a mark on my heart. My top 3.
I just...
Did you watch it
This
yet,
evaded
Yazdi?
me, and while you were talking, I just added it to my Netflix list. It's less than 2 hours long, so people need to check
It's
it
very
out.
efficient, but it will leave you changed about what you think about incarceration. And I think a lot, I don't know why, but I think a lot about incarceration, and this was just beautiful. So, Yazdi, you're number 3.
There were great action movies which were released this year. Monkey Man is a favorite. It's further down in my list. There were many good films which came out, but the one which, for me, is just glistened to a polish, a fine burnish. It's very, very high on the level of difficulty, but it was achieved amazingly by Denis Villeneuve, and it's the movie Dune Part 2. That movie...
I'm giving you a fist bump, Yazdi.
That movie is just stunning in every way. I watched it with my mouth wide open. It was like visual candy, where it was going with its themes of,
Politics.
About politics,
Yeah.
and about power, and about, power being thrust on someone, and a unwitting leader. And it has so many themes about women and power. It's just, it's based on Frank Herbert's book, which is, what at this point 67 years old, but it's Denis Villeneuve has realized it like with impossible execution.
It was my number 13, but clearly, Joe, it's top of your...
It's my number 3 as well.
Oh, yay, okay.
That's why I gave him the fist bump.
Okay,
Because,
nice.
everything that Yazdi said about that is absolutely what I said about it. I mean, I'm heartbroken that I almost won't get the chance to see it again in an IMAX theater, because this movie...
We were very lucky to watch it on the biggest, loudest screen we could find.
I mean, this movie, but this movie is a spectacle without it, but it's a special treat to see in the cinema, and I hope that this is one of those that'll get kind of another run at some point. There's a lot made about it being shot in, partly in IMAX, but the special effects, the characters, the grandioseness of it all.
Yeah.
Is that a word, grandioseness? We saw it very early on in the year. I think it was like a February release.
Yeah.
And it stayed with me throughout the whole year. So absolutely top notch. And, I'm glad to see that a sequel is getting some nods by the snooty academies, because oftentimes they dismiss sequels. But
I wonder if it's going to have a part 3.
Yeah.
It
will.
Oh, it will. Okay.
Well, they're working on
I
it.
believe so. I mean, the Dune universe expanded from the original book into this whole series of books. So Frank Herbert has written, a whole, like say, universe. I think
And there's a series on HBO Max, right?
The next book following Dune, I think, was Dune Prophecy,
Dune
and I
Prophecy,
think that's what has
The
been
series.
picked up by Max
okay.
as a TV series, which I'm kind of afraid to watch.
I might have to drag you to that one too.
Right, I'll check it out to see if it's been reviewed
Yeah.
well. But I was afraid of it because I don't know how you can do this world without Denis Villeneuve's hand.
Sure.
This material is dry, pun intended, and I've said on many podcasts before that Dune should be my cup of tea. I'm a sci-fi junkie, but I can't read that damn book. it's impenetrable, and so to take that material and make it into a very accessible, accomplished, but maintain all of the themes is just something.
Yeah. It was number 13 on my list if I haven't said that already.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're down to our top 2. So my number 2, Joe, okay, so you did that number 3.
I did.
So my number 2 is a surprising one because it didn't make any Oscar lists or best lists.
Interstellar. No. No.
Joe,
It's the
Rashmi,
reason we're
not Joe.
married.
It's the tiny little movie that came on Netflix. I watched it in fairly recently. It's the movie It's What's Inside. I watched it in December.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a pre-wedding reunion that descends into a psychological nightmare for a group of college friends when a surprise guest arrives with a mysterious suitcase. It's kind of the ultimate body swap movie, but it's just so thought-provoking. And the idea is so good. Like, what would you do differently if you had the ability to be someone else for a small number of hours? How would you behave differently? How you look on the outside versus who you are inside. It's a little gem. It's a tiny little gem. I kind of feel like this will be one of those cult movies in time. Mm-hmm. It's What's Inside. That's my number 2 movie. I loved it so much.
Okay. I do want to watch it. Part of me, though, scares me because I don't like the idea of your body being possessed by something else. Isn't that part of it a little bit like that?
Well, it's someone else.
Someone else, yeah.
Right.
So that kind of scares me. But yeah.
Yeah, and it got like a 79% on Rotten Tomatoes by the critics. So it's a fun little movie. It's available on Netflix right now. Yazdi, your number 2. Your second favorite movie of 2024.
I did not have more fun sitting in a chair in a theater than I did while watching the movie Kill.
Yes.
And that was lower down on your list.
Yes, I love that movie.
That movie is India's answer to John Wick. The entire movie is set on this train, which is going from one city to another, and a group of bandits with ruthless violence and their minds is going through, each coach one by one and killing people, and it's up to this army sergeant to save everybody and save his girlfriend. The movie is violent with a capital V. If you have a weak stomach, do not watch it. But if you want to watch something, if you thought Kill Bill was Kill Bill even, but if you thought that John Wick is a little too easy, then watch Kill. I usually find that kind of violence gratuitous. I find it very sickening, but the way it's been done, it's so masterfully executed. Inventive like nobody's business. This movie is available for $5 on Prime TV. It's available on YouTube. It's available on Apple. If you feel on a Saturday or Friday or Saturday evening to watch something which will just get you excited and revved up and kind of shake you by the shoulders, then watch Kill. It's as masala as it gets. I'm in love with this movie. I had so much fun.
And we watched it with a mixed audience in a beautiful LA theater, the Aero Theater.
The Egyptian theater.
The Egyptian Aero, I think it's
Hollywood.
called. Yeah. And it was so well received. Yeah. I love this movie as well.
And I mean, you can't think of it as coming from Bollywood.
No, it's not Bollywood
at all.
I mean, Bollywood and Indian cinema is often surprising, and we talk about this when we do our IFLA podcasts because there's such a variety of things out from that region that aren't what we think of when we think of as Asian, particularly South Asian cinema. But this is bonkers and it's unhinged. And it should probably be institutionalized, as you probably will be after watching it. So, great pick, Yazdi.
Yeah. Okay. Joe, your second favorite movie of 2024 was?
The wonderful Luca Guadagnino picture.
Queer. No.
The other one, Challenges, of course.
Joe didn't even watch. Did you watch Queer?
I have not seen Queer.
Okay,
I know. I want to see it just because I find Challenges and Call Me by Your Name.
I know this. Yeah.
All of those so engaging. He's a director that really works for me. But Challenges, again, another early 2024 release that we saw, and I was like, wait, what? How is a movie this good being released this early in the year? So it's we've talked about it endlessly, how sexy and naughty and playful and how inventive it is with its use of music and the performances of all three of the leads and the cleverness of the script and the use of the visuals to get in the minds of the. It's a fun and it's a spicy and it's a naughty movie, and it left me with such a twisted smile on my face because it's. Naughty is the word that I just keep thinking of. There's just so many like setups and moments that are, ostensibly it's a very simple love triangle, but it's messy and it's icky and the people are hateful and I don't like any of them at times because they're all so horribly flawed and mean to each other. But it was so much fun.
So that is my number one film.
Really?
I stole your thunder there.
There's no other movie I've seen. I on my own accord went and saw twice in the theater. I did go and watch Challengers again in the theater. Everything that you said, it's just endlessly fascinating. It initially when you're watching it, it goes back and forth in time and you're like, why are you doing this? Why are you playing with my head? But there is a method to the madness. You're watching these three characters who are very intelligent, very driven, athletes, but they cannot help but behave stupidly. And it's the whole film is shot with so much verve. I'm not a tennis player. I felt like I was in a tennis match multiple times.
Tennis, yeah.
All the three actors, like you said, Josh O'Connor, Mike Feist, and Zendaya are just off the charts. I think the very fact that neither one of them is nominated for an acting Oscar is a crime.
Travesty, yeah.
It's a travesty. Even how it ends, I can talk about this movie forever. By the way, this movie is streaming now. So, I think it's on Amazon Prime. It's been streaming for a while. Watch it. If you love sport, if you love tennis, heck, if you love cinema, watch Challengers. It's so good.
It's not a tennis movie, Yazdi.
It's not a tennis movie. It could be a movie about...
It's anything but a tennis movie.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So going back then, so my favorite movie of 2024 is the movie Maharaja. It's on Netflix. It's just got me. I cannot shake this movie. I think this is one of the best movies I've seen of all time. It's such a weird log line. It is about so much more than what it says on the label. It is a thriller. It's a comedy at times. It's strange. It's about a father and a daughter. It's about responsibility and duty and crazy things happening. A barber seeking vengeance after his home is burglarized, cryptically telling the police his trash can has been taken, leaving them uncertain if this is a person or an object or what's going on. So his quest to recover the elusive thing that's been burglarized unfolds and you just don't know what's happening, and then it just hits you in the middle of your eyes and it's a gut punch. This has, Anurag Kashyap, who we all, I think, admire, is one of an auteur director these days. It's directed by Nithilan Saminathan. It's a South Indian movie, but it's so good. It's so good.
Also unexpectedly violent, but so good. Very well deserved.
I'm so glad you watched it.
Yeah. I love the film.
Yeah, Joe hasn't watched it yet, but it's so good, right? Yeah,
it's so good because it's completely 100% unpredictable. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah.
I didn't get it. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. Yazdi, you've already given us Challengers.
Yes.
Joe, I am shocked to see this movie. I'm thinking this might be your favorite movie because I'm surprised this isn't on your list, but maybe go on. Tell me what's your favorite movie.
My favorite movie of 2024 is George Miller's Furiosa.
I was waiting. I was like, how come Joe has not mentioned Furiosa yet? Okay, so that
Mad
was
Max Saga.
That was my number 18.
Look, I mean, I'll just talk about this movie. I think it has not been anywhere nearly as well received by most as Mad Max Fury Road from a few years ago. And I think it's interesting. I think maybe I'm responding to this in the way that I should have responded to Fury Road and the way that many other people did, because
including me. Yeah.
I found Fury Road confounding on first watch. There's a lot of language and things going on in that movie that I just didn't understand. I didn't tune into George Miller's particular way of directing that, and not a huge fan of Mad Max from years before. I watched it again, and I watched it at home in 15-minute chunks, and started to appreciate that this was more than just a simple action movie. This was a perfectly executed action movie. This Fury Road, I went into then with much more knowledge and insight of the world, and it worked so much better for me. George Miller's dialed back the obfuscation that he had in the original Mad Fury Road, right? There's terms, war boys, and the way that the people speak that I couldn't understand with that subtitle.
Yeah.
He stepped that back in Furiosa, and I think the movie is all the better for it. It's a whole lot more accessible. It's a bit longer, but the inventiveness of the set pieces, there's a section in this movie called The Stowaway, which is set on a war rig driving between two locations.
That's my favorite part of
that. Is just insanely ambitious in terms of what they did and how they shot it. Yes, the movie has its flaws, but the sound design, I watched it twice in the movie theater, and it was just as good on second watching. The sound design, the journey of Furiosa, it's the only movie on my list here that I went out straight away and it came out, and I've purchased and I've watched bits of it over the year. I haven't had much time to kind of rewatch stuff this year, but it is just a really well done action movie, and just so much more accessible than Fury Road, and so I loved it. It's beautifully shot. The story really worked for me. I'd argue that Anya Taylor-Joy is a little miscast in this. You've made that argument very strongly, Yazdi, and I've come to kind of accept that too. She just needs to eat a sandwich. I don't believe she's this like war hero, and she's too delicate for the role. But the movie was not. It was not. Did not detract from the movie for me. So I loved this movie. Honestly, it's something that I'm going to watch and watch and watch.
Yeah,
this is
I was like, where is it coming on Joe's list? I was shocked.
This goes into my collection of movies that I'm going to watch over and over.
Yeah,
right. Like that's where this lands for me.
Okay, so there you have our top 10s. Any others that you want to mention?
Well, can I just say, because I didn't prepare him, I looked at my letterbox, and my letterbox was kind of a mess, and I realized that it doesn't order things completely
by year,
in the order
correct.
That I would want it to, and that's not a criticism of letterbox. That's just me not preparing for this podcast. I'm going to throw
Damn you, Joe.
I'm going to throw in movies that I'm surprised aren't on my list.
Yeah, I was going to say, where's Anora for any of us?
They're going to be Emilia Pérez,
number 13.
Nickel Boys, and Better Man. So those are my also rans.
Okay, Yazdi, any others you want to mention?
I want to mention The Room Next Door, which is a movie we talked about, which deserves so much more.
Yeah.
It is Pedro Almodovar's first English language movie with the brilliant Julianne Moore as well as
Tilda Swinton.
That one is so good. Also, I really like Nightbitch.
Yes.
We all really like it.
Yes.
I don't know. I really
haven't seen it. Yeah.
But
I love Drive Away Dolls, the movie which came out very early. It was kind of fun. It was by one of the Coens brothers. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Anora, we all liked Anora.
Yeah.
Anora, I'm surprised.
Anora was number 14 on my list.
I think Anora would have made
number 13 on my list. Yeah.
If Letterboxd hadn't confused me, I think I would have put that in place of Juror Number Two.
I think you always blame Letterboxd. This is a general theme, Joe.
Basically, I didn't do my homework.
Yeah.
I do my homework after the show.
You do.
I edit the podcast.
Yeah.
I came in completely
I would like to mention Ullozhukku, which we all saw at IFLA, at the Indian Film Festival of LA. The one about the two ladies.
Yeah,
with
that one has had a release. It's on Amazon Prime. I think.
It is. Okay, that was my Ullozhukku. It's Ullozhukku. Very strange name, but fantastic. There is a fantastic documentary which I think has been nominated called No Other Land, which I loved. Ghostlight, the great Ghostlight was fantastic.
Is very good. Yeah.
And The Last Showgirl, which didn't make it on. Didn't quite crack through the Oscar mountain, but. I think it's been a great year for movies.
Yeah.
As I made my list, I was like, wow, there were a lot of movies that I loved. This 2024 was a great year.
Yeah. Can I mention two
Yeah,
more?
of course you can, Yazdi.
The Wild Robot, which is nominated for Best Film, Best
actually,
Animated
that's
Film.
true.
I really
Yeah,
like that one.
Like that one.
And then there was a movie which was nominated last year for Best Foreign Film, but it got released only this year. It's The Teacher's Lounge. I don't know if any of
You keep telling me about that.
That movie just gave me...
I've got to put that on our
It
list.
made me so anxious. It's just about a
Is
teacher
it on
in a school.
Netflix, Yazdi? Where
It's in our
can...
queue, Rashmi.
Oh, it's already in our queue.
it's on
Okay.
queue. I really like that one.
Joe, any others that you want to
Alien
mention?
Romulus, you liked it?
Yeah.
Alien Romulus was great. Yeah, that was super fun. I don't know that it made kind of my top 10, but I had blast with that movie.
Oh, I finally watched A Different Man, which is Jeremy
did I.
Strong is nominated for Best Supporting Actor, I think.
No, that's
Oh,
The
sorry, The
Apprentice.
Apprentice. Also watched The Apprentice, which is quite good. And that's the one that Jeremy Strong is nominated for. Thank you, Yazdi. That's also quite good, The Apprentice.
I haven't seen The Apprentice. I have seen A Different Man.
Yes, I thought A Different Man was good. That's got the other guy in it, which I can't remember. And I also watched I'm Still Here.
I
that's
watched
the other
I'm
one
Still
we
Here.
watched.
We need to talk
That's-
about
Yeah.
that one.
That was...
I loved it.
That worked really well for me as
I didn't
well.
love it, but I thought it was very interesting.
My thing is, in my mind, I compared it to The Seed of the Sacred Fig because they're both kind of political protest movies
same.
about activism.
Yes.
And this one kind of pales in comparison. But I think it's a very
Exactly.
handsome movie. I felt like, and we can talk about it another
Yeah.
time. But the one that all of us really liked, but which didn't show up on any of our lists, and it's very well received by the Oscars, is the movie Conclave. Which,
I've talked ad nauseum
Yeah.
about
I have not seen
Conclave.
Conclave.
No, Joe hasn't seen it yet.
I
But
need to
we've
see
talked
it.
ad nauseum
Yeah.
about Conclave. And again, if the young Pope wasn't available
Right,
on HBO Max, I would be singing the praises of Conclave. It's just that I feel that the young Pope did it better.
Yeah.
But anyway, that wraps up 2024. And next week is Oscar week. So we will be back with reactions, I think.
We'll try.
I will
I
try.
think there's going to be some logistical challenges with
Joe's
that,
like,
Rashmi.
don't
No.
commit us.
You're going to be away.
I will be travelling. I will be away. Yes.
Unfortunately,
Yes.
Rashmi's going to be travelling for work around the time of the Oscars. So if we can do it, we'll definitely chat about them post on our next show.
Yeah.
What I would like both of you to do right now before we pack up is email me your lists of movies.
Yes.
That way I'll put them on the website when I publish.
Perfect.
Thank you for listening. I think it's not been a bad year. I mean, I won't say it's a great year, but
you're disagreeing with me again, Joe.
Well, no, it always surprises me, how slow the year is, and then how much comes at the end. And I think, frankly, I'll just mea culpa me. A lot of the greatness that you've described in your lists here are things that I haven't seen. So I've been a bit delinquent this year, but
I think you were traveling and
I had a lot of travel. My work is overwhelming.
Yes.
So that's just been a little bit of a poor show for me. But no, it's some great stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Too many movies.
Going to wrap up so that we can go see a play. We're going to do a little bit of theatre.
Yes.
Attending.
Theatrewalas.
We shall be back in the not too distant future with more movie reviews. Thank you for listening. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook and all the other places that we exist at. And until our next podcast, I guess, it's too many movies, too little time. Hey, goodbye from me.
And me.
And me as well.